Food Safety, narrated by Health and Community Intern Ashley. Tips for kids and families. Today, we will be talking about the importance of food safety in the kitchen when with children. Here are some helpful tips. Tip number 1. Keep your hands clean and wash them often in soapy water. Always wash your hands before preparing a meal. There are 5 steps to take when washing your hands. The first step is to turn on the water. The second step is to wet your hands under running warm or cold water. The third step is to apply soap to lather. Make sure that you scrub well so that bubbles pop up. You want to make sure that you are getting the back of your hands, the front of your hands, your thumbs, in between your fingers and fingernails when you're scrubbing with soap. The fourth step is to rinse clean. And the fifth step is to dry your hands with either a dry paper towel or regular towel. Another good takeaway is to wash your hands to your favorite song. Tip number 2. Avoid licking your fingers or touching your face when preparing food. This is an important tip for children. Make sure that you are not touching any areas of your face, such as your eyes, your nose, or ears, or any other surfaces to avoid spreading germs on your hands. Tip number 3. Accessories such as jewelry or hats should not be worn. Hair should also be tied back. This is an important tip so that you avoid any fallout from your hair or jewelry. If you have long hair, make sure that you tie it back. Avoid wearing any jewelry such as bracelets or earrings as well, so that it does not fall onto the food that you're preparing. Tip number 4. Stand 3 feet away from the cooking stove. Children should always keep their distance from the cooking stove when a parent or family member is cooking. Try creating a kid-free zone so that your child understands how far they should stand away from the stove. Use supplies from home, such as a floor mat and tape, like in this picture. Tip number 5. Wear closed-toed shoes or non-slip shoes to protect your feet. Make sure you protect your feet from any hot food falling on the floor or any hot liquids, which could lead you to slip easily. Always make sure you are not wearing any flip-flops or exposing your feet in any way. In the picture above, this is me wearing sneakers. Tip number 6. Separate raw food from cooked or ready-to-eat food. If you don't know the difference between raw food or cooked or ready-to-eat food, raw foods include raw meats, such as chicken, such as fish or eggs. And then ready-to-eat food includes fruits or vegetables, such as in this picture, we have an avocado, a lemon, and mango. You want to make sure that you're using separate kitchen utensils and separate cutting boards for each food type to avoid any cross-contamination. Tip number 7. Do not touch hot pans. In the tip before, we noticed how children should stand 3 feet away from the cooking stove. Make sure your child's safety is first priority when you're cooking. To avoid any injuries or burns, make sure your child is nowhere near the stove area where he or she could touch the hot pans. Tip number 8. Do not taste uncooked food. Example, raw foods such as flour can contain bacteria. This is a useful tip, especially when you are baking cakes or cookies and you tend to lick the spoon that has the leftover batter or cookie dough like in this picture. You want to make sure that you do not taste any of the uncooked food as much as possible because it can make your stomach upset. Tip number 9. Store cooked food or leftovers in the refrigerator for 3 to 5 days. Storing food in the refrigerator is easy, but did you know that there is a certain arrangement of how your food should be stored? In this picture, we have on the top shelf of the refrigerator, ready-to-eat food. Ready-to-eat food includes dairy products, yogurt, and cream. In the second shelf, we also have ready-to-eat food, such as cream cakes, butter, cooked meats, leftovers, and other packaged food. In the third shelf, that's where you should keep your raw meat, your poultry, and fish. Always cover and keep in sealed containers. In the last shelf, you have salad, fruit, and vegetables. Make sure that you keep them ready to eat in sealed bags or containers and always wash before use. Tip number 10. Clean the kitchen after you are done cooking. Children should always help their families clean the kitchen after they're done cooking or eating. Now we will do a food safety quiz, based on everything we learned from the past slides. You have to read the clues and fill in the blank with the correct answer. You can either take out a sheet of paper and do it with your families or parents, or you can just shout out the answer, whatever you think it is. So be ready. Question number 1. Before handling, cooking, and eating food, you should always... Correct! Before handling, cooking, or eating food, you should always wash your hands for 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song. Number 2. Washing your hands helps eliminate... Correct! The answer is germs. Make sure that you're always washing your hands to take out any germs from touching your face or touching any surfaces when you're preparing or cooking food. Number 3. Keep raw meat separate from... Correct! Keep raw meat separate from cooked food or ready-to-eat food. Now, raw meats are meats such as raw chicken or raw fish or raw poultry. Ready-to-eat food is fruits and vegetables, and then any other cooked food. You want to make sure that they are on separate cutting boards and use separate kitchen utensils to avoid any cross-contamination or illness. Number 4. Before washing your hands, scrub your hands with... Good job! Before washing your hands, scrub your hands with soap. And when you're scrubbing, make sure that you see bubbles come up. That is how you know that you're washing your hands correctly. Wash your hands for 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song. Number 5. Food can go bad quickly if not stored in the... Good job! Food can go bad quickly if not stored in the refrigerator for 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days is the general number of days that you should keep your food refrigerated, any food or leftovers. You should also keep your refrigerator between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and your freezer at 0 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Refrigerate fruits, vegetables, milk, eggs, and meats within 2 hours. 1 hour if the temperature is 90 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. Number 6. How far should you stand from the stove? Correct, 3 feet. Include a kid-free zone of at least 3 feet around the stove and areas where food is being prepared. Be creative by using your own mat at home, duct tape, or signage. Number 7. What should not be worn in the kitchen? Is it an apron, shoes, a hat? What should not be worn? Correct! You got the last question right. Jewelry or hats should not be worn in the kitchen. In addition, if you have long hair, you should tie your hair back to keep it protected. Thank you for listening to my food safety lesson, narrated by Health in the Community Intern Ashley. Thank you.